If the sport of boxing had a dictionary and you looked up the word courage, you would likely find our next inductee's picture. He was born in 1963 in Rodrigo, Cuba. He first became interested in boxing when he was 10 years old. He actually went to a gym with his brother, but his brother didn't want him to box. But he was inspired by the late three-time Cuban Olympic champion, Teofilo Stevenson, and had dreams of winning a gold medal of his own. He had a successful amateur career, finishing up 55 wins, 8 losses, 26 wins by way of knockout. He came to Florida and turned professional in 1982. He won 18 of his first 19, which gained him a shot at future heavyweight champion of the world, James Bone Crusher Smith. It turned out for him to be a heartbreaker. Despite most in the audience feeling that he won, it was Bone Crusher that won a split decision. After a number of wins, in August of 1986, he was matched up against a young, unbeaten Mike Tyson on HBO. It was a fight that Tyson would later say was one of the toughest of his career. Despite being knocked down in the 2nd and 8th rounds, he went toe-to-toe with Tyson, giving him all that he could handle. He won the hearts of many boxing fans with his gritty performance that night. I personally remember having great respect for him watching that fight. One of my favorite moments came when he was knocked down in the 10th round and he was asked by the referee if he would like to continue. He looked at the referee and said, "Yeah, hell yeah." Can't help but respect that. The fight was stopped moments later, but he had certainly arrived as a force in the heavyweight division. In all, he faced 11 heavyweight champions, including a first-round knockout win over Leon Spinks and a controversial decision loss to Tim Witherspoon. He also showed that he was never afraid to go to another opponent's hometown, taking on Axel Schultz and Vitaly Klitschko in Europe. Despite having fought 11 champions in his career, he was never given a much-earned and deserved shot at the heavyweight championship. He stepped out of boxing in 1999 with a final record of 39 wins, 17 losses, 1 draw, 27 knockouts. He fought 23 times here in the state of Florida. He went on to work as a security guard for Miami-Dade Public Schools. He has also given right back to the community, working with autistic people. He also enjoys working as a trainer, and he's also the author of a new book, Courage in the Ring, which you can find right now on Amazon.com. Very appropriate, that title of the book, as courage is something that he showed each and every time he stepped into a ring. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, class of 2014, heavyweight contender, Jose Ribalta. Ladies and gentlemen, Jose's trainer, Florida Boxing Hall of Famer Dave Clark, is going to speak on his behalf.
Were you on me? Good.
First of all, I would like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Second of all, I would like to just talk about my first trainer that I ever had was Eddie Ludlow and Bobby Allen. But then later on came a greater trainer. His name was Dave Clark. Here he is right now, Dave Clark.
I want to thank Dwayne Simpson for putting Jose Ribalta in the Hall of Fame. Jose Ribalta deserves it. I knew Jose for 42 years, and me and him were always arguing, fighting, but we always got along good because both of us, we didn't know what we were doing at the time. We were just talking and screaming and hollering at each other. but that's what made us get along so good. Jose Ribalta, when he became a teenager, he went to the Olympics trials, and he fought a guy named Jimmy Williams, who he lost to in a very close decision. The fight was so close it could have went either way. Then at 19 or 20 years old, Jose Ribalta, he turned pro, and he fought every heavyweight that there was. And there were two guys he didn't fight, and that was George Foreman, and that was Holyfield. He didn't fight them too. But me and Jose, you know, we talk every day, and we argue, and we talk about nothing. That's what's so good about it. That's why we get along. So one day, you know, I tell a story so many times that I believe it, and Jose believes it. That's the way it is. Jose Ribalta, we got in a big argument at Tropical Park one time, and we really got into it, me and him. And he said, let's go in the ring and let's just settle this thing. I said, okay, we'll do that then. So he puts his headgear on his mouthpiece, and he wraps his hands and puts his boxing gloves on. And he's 22 years old, and I'm 70 at that time. I said, okay, Jose, we'll do it. So we go in the ring, and I beat the crap out of Jose. I busted him all up. So he calls me up the next day, like he does every day, and he says to me, hey coach, you know, why did you beat me up so bad? Because all the guys were laughing at me. And I said, I felt like it, that's why. So he hangs up on me, and he tells his wife, he says, you know, there's something the matter with the coach. He said, I think he's got Alzheimer's. So I turned around to my wife, Joanne, and I said, Joanne, you know, that beating I gave Jose Ribalta in the boxing ring at Tropical Park, he ain't talking too good. And this is how we get along, you know, we talk like this, and he'll call me Monday morning, we'll argue about this and that, you know, and don't even make no sense, but this is how we get along. And my friend James Waring, came down here. He went out of his way, drove his wife down, and took me to this Hall of Fame so I could introduce Jose Ribalta. And with Jose Ribalta, or James Waring, I'm sorry, with James Waring, he holds the quickest knockout in the cruiserweight division. He fought Pritchard, and he only had 9 fights, James Waring. And he knocked Pritchard out in 24 seconds in the first round. And I was walking down the steps at the time, I didn't even see the punch. And I asked Allie Ridgway, did you see anything? He said, I didn't see nothing. I said, man, he's got to be on something. But I went back to the States, and James Waring, I just said, James, I seen the fight about 2 weeks later, you know, that's when they showed it. But anyway, I want to thank Jose's family for being here. And I know they're very proud of him, and all his friends are here, and I know they're proud of him. And I'm his coach, and I'm proud of him too. And God bless everybody that's here, and thank you very much.